Hi there, Scorpio. Welcome to your January mid-monthlies. Welcome back to my channel if you're a regular here, and welcome if you're new. Please join the family. Thank you for your likes and subscriptions. So Scorpio, the January reading was quite big. This is kind of just a more in-depth look at the energies in the last 2 to 3 weeks of January. And this is actually quite a big one, and I've already noticed this in the Scorpios in my life around me. Okay, so as I said in the January reading, you had the option of being your own hero, being your own romantic hero in particular, or going into past self-sabotaging behaviors, and that sticks. Okay, that energy's still here. We had Venus move into Sagittarius, which means romance and your self-worth are the focal point of your self-development. Do you value yourself enough to feel confident in your romantic relationships, or is there an issue? I say that because there's a square between Jupiter and Neptune. Neptune's in your sector of love and Jupiter is in your sector of worth on the 13th of January, and you may be trying too hard to be perfect. You may be trying too hard to appear like you have everything going for you on a superficial level, you know, with your money, because it's a good year for money. Scorpio, it's a great year for money for you. But that's not who you are. It's what you deserve, but it's not who you are. And we have a lunar eclipse in Leo, so your success in your career, I mean, this is a total lunar eclipse in Leo. So what you've been working on since last summer will be a success. 6 of Wands, success. This lunar eclipse is going to be huge for you. Big opportunities. The men in your life are going to be wanting to offer you things in a career level. But listen, that's not you. That's not entirely who you are. You can focus on your money, you can focus on your career, but there's a depth to Scorpio people that needs to be acknowledged, and it can't just be accessed in a career level. Similarly, Mars is going to square Saturn on the 21st, and for an Aries Capricorn square, yep, you guessed it, ambition, and you're not sure about what you want anymore. It's all in your head. Or if you're really not sure what you want, maybe you're just not making the right choices for yourself. I think instinctively, Scorpio, everybody knows what they want. And with Venus coasting through the second house Sagittarius, confidence is key. You need to be more confident, Scorpio, and it's gonna, you know, you had Venus in your sign for an uncomfortably long time, on and off. It wasn't the most secure energy, and it wasn't secure for anybody else because it makes people secretive. It makes people not want to talk about their feelings or put themselves out there. And now you have an opportunity to be more generous, and you are being generous. I'm just saying, don't think that money is going to be what attracts people to you. Page of Swords, gossip. The Sun. Oh, the Queen of Wands is the challenge. And the 5 of Wands, competition. This came up for Libra too. 8 of Pentacles, achievement. Well, this is exactly what I was talking about. So, Scorpio. Generosity, let's talk about that. We have the Page of Swords here, so I think there may have been people in your past or in your present, even for some of you, who were just taking and maybe weren't saying the most comfortable things behind your back. There is a problem with the Page of Swords where people want to play with swords that are bigger than them. See, this little guy really, that sword's too big for him. He's running away with his mouth and it's getting him in trouble. You may have been dealing with an air sign or a fire sign who was somewhat challenging. The Queen of Wands has come up in the challenge. Now, the challenge here is also regarded in the Mermaid deck, because this is a new deck, as passion. Maybe your passion is the problem. Maybe you feel too strongly about someone or something that you want to achieve and you're giving too much. As I said about this Jupiter-Neptune square, particularly if you're a Scorpio with strong Sagittarius or Pisces placements, I think you may be trying to overcompensate for something you're not even lacking. Okay? Just an FYI. because I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader on this. We have the Sun in your positive position, and the Sun is the most positive card in the whole deck, so bear that in mind. The Sun is also the natural ruler of Leo. So this lunar eclipse means that you are guaranteed some form or level of career success, some sort of recognition, some sort of opportunity. It's something that's going to serve you provided you've been putting the work in. And I know Scorpios, you've been putting the work in quite a lot for the last year. And last year in terms of career had those focuses as well. So there is that level of success here, particularly financially. If you've not noticed it yet, it's going to come to you. It may be to do with your chart, but it will, okay? Six of Pentacles, generosity. As I say, you're giving and giving and giving. Are you receiving back? I think you'd be more inclined this month, romantically speaking, to make sure that you're looking for people that bring you happiness rather than people who are judging you for what it is that you bring to the table. How often do you do that? Because I have a friend who's a Scorpio who does that. When they like somebody, they start to wonder, have they brought enough to the table themselves? And they're not still assessing if the other person is bringing it too. It's not a competition, but there is competition this month. And I think it's in a career sense. I think there's somebody who wants what you have or somebody that's jealous of what you have. I think it's a fire sign. But in the extended, I do a little extended love readings on Vimeo. As I'm starting them in the mid-monthlies for the set. Where I go into each element. So if you're dealing with a fire sign, if you're dealing with an air sign, you don't have to go to it. I will explain in bits and pieces the signs that come up as they come up, but just in case you wanted, you know, more info, I suppose. So, Scorpio. What are they bringing to the table? What are people offering you? I think that's really what I want you to think about this month. What are people offering you? Rather than you feeling, what do you offer? Because you've thought that every single time, so you must know by now. Ace of Cups, love. Beautiful. New love energy. So if you've not met somebody special yet, there is somebody on the periphery that seems to be of interest to you, Scorpio. A love offer. Or something that you quite simply love doing. That came up in the January one, I get that. So I do feel like a lot of Scorpios are actually dealing with fresh energy, somebody new. Magician, wow. Some of you are getting very back into the law of attraction, the laws of the universe, positive thinking. Being more generous with your thoughts is important this month. Three of Cups, reunion. Okay. There is somebody that's either talking about you or repeating information. Just so you know, Scorpio, because that's a Scorpio pet hate. I said this to my friend the other day. She said she tells, her husband everything, and I was like, hope you don't tell him my stuff. Scorpios hate it when they think they're being talked about. When you tell something personal and someone else tells you, it really annoys you. Gossip and reunion. I feel like somebody in your circle may be repeating information to somebody else you don't want them to. But in saying that, I feel like somebody from your past may be talking about you a lot. Does that make sense? The Angel of the Ocean, healing. Now healing, temperance. This isn't called temperance in this deck, but it does represent temperance. The Sun in temperance is the most beautiful combination to have in your positive. You're healing the ego. You are listening to what people around you are speaking to your heart and which people are just feeding your ego. A Scorpio person is very, very hard to approach. Sometimes they appear a lot more scary than they are. And the difficulty with that is that sometimes very, very brave people get through, but they appear to be brave when they're actually brazen. They're not scared of you. They know that you have a heart outer shell. They know that you have vulnerabilities, and not many people can approach Scorpios. So whenever somebody comes in and they just see that and they read you and they think, oh, if I give them a load of compliments, they'll trust me. Make sure you don't do that. Just an FYI. You're healing the ego. So if somebody has, particularly if you have a past wound from a Gemini person, I think that seems to be healed, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Gemini that's speaking about you, actually, Scorpio. Ah, the King of Cups and the challenge, understanding. Okay, so you don't always this month understand yourself. Now, this is what I was saying. If you are coming up against a hot and heavy fire sign person, you're comparing yourself and thinking that they come up trumps. They don't, right? The fire sign in particular seems to be challenging you because the King of Cups is you, though you may also be dealing with another water sign, so a Pisces or a Cancer or a fellow Scorpio is in the challenge position. I get the sense, Scorpio, because I talked about people blowing up your phone. You might not know how to take these people when they do talk to you, but I also sense that somebody, whether it be one of them, whether it be an air sign, they're remaining quiet, but they're talking about you to other people. Does that make sense? 9 of Wands, defense. Oosh. Okay, you are defensive about something or someone. And underneath we have Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. But we also have kindness, okay? Be kinder to yourself. When can I set this up without knocking her over? I don't want to knock her over. There we go. Okay. She's going to fall over. No, stay. Okay. I get this impression this is a very one-way story, Scorpio, so listen up. You've been headhunted before by people that want to play to your vulnerabilities. People that seem to give a lot in the beginning. They give you a lot of attention, they give you a lot of affection. That's grand, okay? That's grand if they follow that up with everything else. There have been a shift in energies with this Capricorn eclipse at the beginning of the month, whereby you realize that some of the people in your circle talked too much. Okay? You realize that a lot of your information wasn't private. That's still an ongoing energy, that's fine. You now know better than to give people secrets without having seen their trustworthiness first. There's a Queen Elizabeth I quote about that, actually. That's very, very clear. Let's see if I can find it. Because I think it might benefit you. Let me see if I can get this. Because I think this is quite an important one to hear. I actually came across this the other day and this reminded of it. Let's see. Do not tell secrets to those whose faith and silence you have not already tested. This is what that reminds me of. Okay? Bear that in mind. And I think, because Queen Elizabeth I was a Virgo, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles, she was a queen, so I feel like that's some sort of little synchronicity there, to be honest. Don't trust people with secrets that you haven't tested before. And this isn't to be making you defensive, super defensive. It's just for you to be aware, because, people don't actually always know that you want things to be kept a secret, so just be mindful of it. But you're defending yourself against competition, and I'm not even sure that real competition is existing. Because this full moon lunar eclipse is in Leo. You don't have competition in career, Scorpio, so if this is romantic, don't make someone a priority that makes you feel like an option. Venus in Sagittarius is very lighthearted, it's very carefree, but it's not necessarily for you guys. It's more to do with people that make you feel valued and respected and secure. Uranus is going to go into your partnership sector in a couple of months, and you might be a little bit less willing to commit than you usually are. But for now, I think you need to assess whether or not you're dealing with people that are giving you appropriate respect in your relationships. I do feel like you're healing your ego massively. And to be honest, the major arcana are in your favor. We just have so far we have 2 people in your challenge, and I feel like one of them is you. 5 of Swords, conflict. Yes, you definitely in your past, and this could be going back 6 years or something crazy, but you definitely in your past dealt with a Gemini person. Maybe for some of you a Virgo. The Magician rules Mercury. Or somebody that had a gift of the gab. Somebody who was constantly making you fight yourself, which is interesting. They gave and they took away. 4 of Wands, reward. Okay, so you're going to be rewarded. And this is interesting. It comes up with the Page of Swords, the 3 of Cups. So there are some friends who may be regurgitating information. There's also some friends who've really, really got your back. I mean, really. You know, they're standing very much in your corner. 6 of Swords, calm. There's very calm energy in your positive position. The Knight of Pentacles, loyalty is in your challenge. And the Ace of Swords is victory. So after competition and defense, we have victory. Hallelujah. And underneath we have the 2 of Cups, which is partnership. Oh, and underneath that we have the Lovers and Justice. Well, some of you, it's funny because I think some of you are maybe getting engaged or getting married or meeting that person. Do you know, this ties in quite well to your January, because in the January, as I said, people are very interested in you and your business, but they're also finding you very, very hard to read. So there's people that are romantically interested in you, Scorpio, and for some reason I think you may be blocking them out a little bit. And I say that because your defenses are up, you're viewing things like a competition, you're worried about competition, you're sort of immediately writing yourself off and thinking, they could have this, that, or whatever. They're probably dating somebody else or whatever. Certainly don't do that if it's career, because as I really want to hone into you, keep doing you, you don't have competition. You do come out of this with a victory. But this is a double-edged sword, so be careful in trying to protect yourself. You isolate yourself from people who actually just want to get to know you. Now, as I said, I'm going to go into the extended and go through each, and I'm glad I'm doing that because we have a Knight of Pentacles, King of Cups, and a Queen of Wands in your challenge. To see the 4 elements all come out, you know, the Page of Swords, Queen of Wands, King of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, to see them all come out, I feel as if you are very much putting a lot of people into one category as a challenge. And it's not that every single person you come across this month, at the end of this month, is challenging you. I feel like the challenge is within you, okay? So, I'm going to do a Goddess Guidance card and see what we've got. If you're dealing with someone romantically, I really get this impression that there's people trying to get in and you're sort of coming across as very mistrustful. I feel like in particular, there's Leo and Sagittarius coming up as trying to, well, they're coming up with the calm card, so they're trying to be quite soft in their approach. Maeve, cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. Compassion, Kuan Yin. Release judgments about yourself and others. That's what I mean. You're mistrusting a lot of people in one bracket. Focus on the love and light that is within everyone. Rhiannon, Sorceress. You're a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. This is true. The Magician's right down here. You're manifesting things. Make sure you're not manifesting reasons to be defensive or reasons to be upset. I'm not going to lie. I do think there's been a couple of people in your circle. I think they're more in terms of friendships who maybe have been repeating information. I don't necessarily know if it was malicious. I think that depends. We'll go into that in the extended. But for the most part, Scorpio, be who you are. Don't pretend that you're somebody else, because it really doesn't suit you. It doesn't suit anybody, but it really doesn't suit Scorpios. Don't, I don't view everybody as competition all the time. If you're dating someone, don't see it as some sort of survival of the fittest. Love is meant to flow. Temperance here in the sun. There's a real opportunity for healing love. But you might have to put your defenses down a little bit and not give up at the first hurdle just because you do yourself down. Okay? So I love you guys, you know that, and I will see you in the extended.